live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Over the hill and through the woods to the airport parking garage. So many people are going, but will there be any spots? You might have seen those sensors that indicate whether parking is actually available. Well, RJ Marquez heads to the San Antonio airport to find out if they work and how.
Well, many of us have been there before. Parking at the airport, we know it can make the biggest difference when it comes to making or maybe even missing your flights. And if you've been to the San Antonio International Airport, chances are that you've seen these lights above me. They're either red or green to indicate parking availability. So we wanted to put these sensors to the test. Let's see what we found.
We drove to the airport Wednesday at around 10:30 in the morning and started in short-term parking. The airport's website listed 10 available spots, but after a few minutes driving around, we didn't find any open spaces, even though we came across at least 2 that had green near the space.
Level 1, 2, 3.
We had better luck in long-term parking. We found a row showing 5 open spots and quickly found one. Now it's time to put the sensors to the test. We're looking in front of me. I have 2 open spots here to my left. So let's try and determine the accuracy of this. So I already see 2 green lights. And let's see, and we do have a spot available here to my left. So, not bad. Green light indicated a parking spot, so that is good news there for our travelers to the airport. Airport officials tell us that each one of these sensors monitors up to 4 parking spaces. If all 4 of them are occupied and a car leaves, the light should change to green in 10 to 20 seconds. The sensors immediately relay that information to the parking counter located outside the row. We found that to be true. We asked about the lag time from the website numbers to the short-term garage counter. Airport officials said those numbers are updated every 5 minutes, so it could take a little bit longer, but the overall accuracy of the sensors is 97%. So what do local travelers think of the sensors?
Yeah. Only 2 false positives, but yeah, no, they're very helpful.
It's come a long way since we've started flying out of San Antonio, which has been 30 years. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I don't ever give it straight up 10, but you can always do a little bit better.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, so that's a look at what's happening just outside the airport, but what about inside? The TSA warned our Garrett Berger that things will stay busy until the new year. He is at San Antonio International right now. So Garrett, how busy are we talking?
Well, according to the TSA spokeswoman we talked to earlier today, they're expecting about 3 million travelers on average every day until New Year. That's up from about 2 million on a normal day. But of course, there's nothing normal about the holidays. And an airport spokeswoman says there will be a bit of a dip on Christmas Eve day and, of course, Christmas Day. But you can count on the next week and a half being busy here at San Antonio International. What does that mean for you? Well, arrive early. At least 2 hours for domestic flights and at least 3 for international. The airport staff suggests that you might want to count that back from your boarding time, not the time your flight actually takes off. And there's no such thing as too early, as one woman coming in from Phoenix demonstrated.
We got there like at 6 and our flight was supposed to be leaving at 10. But
you weren't taking any chances.
Yeah, no. No. We pre-checked in 24 hours ahead of time and we didn't check any luggage. Just carry on, so prepare for it.
Why were you so prepared?
I worked for an airline before and I know how crazy it can get, so better be safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry is a good piece of advice when it comes to TSA security screenings, too. Don't risk having to abandon any of your gifts, such as Nerf guns or other toy weapons, because you tried to bring them on the carry-on. However, tamales, San Antonio, those are okay. You can bring them, but you are going to be limited on salsa, which counts as a liquid. Now, at the moment, the airport's not too busy. There had been a bit of a line just a few minutes ago coming out of the security screening, but that's since died down. But we are hearing that the mornings are really going to be the hard time to get through. That's when the most flights are leaving, people trying to make connections. So if you've got an early flight, you've got a lot earlier morning. So good luck on any traveling you're going to be doing. Live from the San Antonio International Airport, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Get there early and tamales are okay. Good to know. Let's take a look. They're better than okay, right, Kasky? Let's take a look outside at 410 at Blanco right now with the traffic situation here locally. What do you know? Slowing down as people head towards North Star Mall this evening. But overall, things looking lighter than usual for the 6 o'clock commute. look outside with live cam. Everybody, especially who is staying in town for Christmas, wondering about that all-important forecast, Adam.
Yeah, it's going to be damp the next few days with some showers, but Myra, on the roads, like Steve out there right now scrambling to get all his shopping done is what it is. You got the low clouds overhead right now and a few drips and drops here and there. Not much to show for it. A trace ran at the airport. 61 this morning. This afternoon, 64. We rose a whopping 3 degrees today. That's it. Not much of a temperature drop the rest of this evening. We'll be 63 at 10 o'clock, midnight at 62, and then we'll wake up to 61 degrees. So we're just going to do that all over again. Temperatures holding steady for the most part tonight. You won't feel a difference. Stray sprinkles, but then drizzle developing well after midnight. We'll talk more about the dampness, how much rain we could get when the sky clears with our cold front, and more thermometer winners coming right up.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks, Adam. Tonight, San Antonio police are investigating the cause of a deadly crash on the city's west side. This crash happened about 2:30 this morning on Highway 90 at Southwest 36th Street. The person killed crashed into a work convoy there, but no word on why that happened. The person who died has not yet been identified. We're learning more information about the delays for the new elementary school in Uvalde. We first told you about this on the Night Beat last night. The board behind this project to build that new school is looking at a second bid after the original bid came in at more than what was budgeted. Tim Miller with the Uvalde Moving Forward Foundation says the original budget for the entire project was $60 million. Miller says the board is trying to be good stewards and use the money they've received wisely, but this will push back when that new school is ready.
18 months is the timeline that we estimate, and if we can get it done sooner, great. But more than likely, it will be completed during the 25-26 school year.
Miller says he expects a board will make a decision on a bid early next year. He says they're continuing to raise funds for the project. For more information on that effort, go to our website at KSAT.com. Tonight, we are continuing to follow that surge of migrants currently at the southern border. Governor Greg Abbott says he will continue flying migrants out of Texas cities to Democratic ones. The governor releasing a video explaining that he is sending migrants from Texas to Chicago. Abbott says he picked Chicago because, quote, sanctuary city Chicago started obstructing and targeting our busing mission, end quote. This all comes as border policy negotiations in the U.S. Senate failed as the year comes to a close.
It's just a reminder of the urgency and the pressure with which we need to act in Congress, but doing so thoughtfully and strategically and not just responding to political rhetoric.
Meantime, at the border, nearly 13,000 people crossed into the U.S. in just one day this week. Some of those people are waiting 10 to 12 hours to be processed, or even up to a few days. Back here at home, a historic Five and Dime, long since closed, along with the department store next to it, will have even greater significance as the future home of the San Antonio African-American Community Archive and Museum, or SACAM. The $100 million project will include exhibitions, a research library, classrooms, and more. Now, to raise revenue, SACAM will have a small boutique hotel on the 5th floor there. Plus, there's rental space on the ground floor. Although it's gotten some money, millions, from the city and the county, Jesse DeGollado says that SACAM needs to raise $50 million for it to fully open in 2026.
In another 2 years, there'll be much more to see than the Art Deco facades of the Crest and Grant department stores of long ago.
Our historian said, you know, this is going to be the museum that San Antonio didn't know they needed, but will realize they want.
Having outgrown where it is now in La Vita, SACAM, the San Antonio African-American Community Archive and Museum, is sure to have plenty of room here. CEO Deborah Omowale Jarman began our tour at what someday will be the main entrance, welcoming visitors to the new cultural center, museum, and much more detailed in the plans for what's to come. Jarman says they include a research library in tribute to the late Carrie Lattimore, a respected history professor at Trinity who wanted the Crest building to become a civil rights institute.
We will have an emphasis on civil rights. How can you not?
After all, she says, Crest was the first in San Antonio to peacefully desegregate its lunch counter in March of 1960. Here near the entrance, there will be a historic interpretation of a lunch counter from that era that will actually serve food prepared by black chefs. In a spacious setting meant to bridge the past and the present.
About 12,000 square feet of just on this level of exhibition galleries.
With more than 100,000 square feet in all.
So there isn't an African American museum in Texas this large.
And they say possibly one of the largest in the South. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Meantime, downtown businesses are hoping a show at the Majestic will bring some change for good. Wicked is in town through the first week of January. Thousands of people are expected to catch a show there. With more people downtown, businesses are expecting a boost. Poblano's Mexican restaurant just down the street from the Majestic says they're already seeing more customers.
It'll boost the business. Like, we have our regular business, but then when the shows come, it gets double at least.
Wicked is in town through January 7th. Still ahead here on the news at 6, Windcrest is famous for its Christmas lights this time of year. Ever wonder how all of this got started? Well, we're sharing the origin story, and it was all one woman's idea. Next.
This SA Salutes holiday greeting is brought to you by Rodriguez Trial Law.
Hi, I'm Fidel Rodriguez Jr. with Rodriguez Trial Law. We would like to thank all active and ex-military members for your service and sacrifice. Blessed holidays to all.
This is a failing score. That's not good. What happened?
Tim Gerber dropped by this restaurant to ask why they failed a recent inspection after getting a high score just a few months ago. The response to the problems behind their kitchen door. The city of Windcrest is famous for its elaborate Christmas light displays. Tonight, we're telling you how all of this got started. It was one woman's idea. The thousands of lights you see on houses there now began with just a few strands and a plan to get some attention. Zipping along 410 and I-35, you could miss it. The small town of Windcrest, but not this time of year and not at night.
Here's a picture of the folks.
Tom Wynn's parents, Murray and Barbie Wynn, were the original developers of Windcrest.
She would hold the stick and he would look through the survey instrument and then get the lay of the land and put the streets in, and then started building houses.
In 1954, the first house went up in what 5 years later would become its own city.
We were so far out of San Antonio that San Antonio Savings and Loan, who wrote most of the mortgages in San Antonio at the time, wouldn't loan money this far out of town.
In this neighborhood's first few years, Barbie Wynn had a plan to get more people interested in living here.
Mother came up with the idea, why don't we buy some Christmas lights and put them on, give them to each one of the homeowners, and they would light up, and then we would advertise, come see the lights of Windcrest. This was in about 1956, 57, 58.
A spark that nearly 70 years later is shining brighter than anyone back then could have dreamed. Anyone except perhaps Barbie Wynn.
It was kind of like, I told you so.
She lived to be 100 years old.
Born in 17, died in 17.
She decorated her walker and herself as the Energizer Bunny on what was her final birthday celebration. But what keeps going and going now is the light-up legacy she created in the city of Windcrest.
It was something for her to see.
And it is a must this time of year. Of course, they have their big light up where there's, I think, 11 different categories for winners of all the different displays. And Windcrest has its very own Santa Jim, Adam Caskey, that helps you out with all your thermometers.
Yes, he does. He helps me out with all the thermometers, and I'm typing in the newest winner's name right now because it just got picked.
And you've got a lot of winners. I mean, we did one at 5 o'clock.
Yes, I did.
We're doing 2 during this show.
Maybe we'll just mix in the night.
Okay,
as well.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Santa Jim, he worked hard in his woodworking shop in Windcrest making the backboards, the actual ornament part. I just made the thermometers. Lisa Delgado of San Antonio, the winner of a beautiful homemade, 100% homemade thermometer ornament. You can go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. And sometimes you run into little issues with these and other thermometers. I'll show you how we fix them coming up at 6:45. First of all, let's get to the rain. We'll have more fog and drizzle and some dampness tonight and every night and morning all the way through Christmas Eve on Sunday. Then we clear out by Christmas Day, Monday. Also some sporadic showers mixed in, 30 to 40% coverage tomorrow and Saturday, up to 60% Saturday night. That's the sweet spot with even a few rumbles of thunder, some non-severe storms possible Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Then by Christmas Day, we clear on out. A cold front gets rid of all the cloudiness, dampness, and dreary conditions. Here's a look at the newest drought monitor, updated every Thursday. Still the extreme drought in and around San Antonio and up I-35 all the way through Austin, even northward, almost approaching Waco. A good chunk of the state, though, not even considered abnormally dry. Now 43% of Texas is in drought. That's a big improvement over the past few weeks. You go down to the valley, just fine. Even Corpus Christi to Laredo southward, Lubbock area, eastward toward Dallas. No major issues there in terms of drought. But I do want to point out the radar on top of the drought conditions. It's nice we've been seeing some shower activity in West Texas over the past 24 hours. A little bit here, but nothing to put a dent in the drought. Most of it has been closer to Waco, Dallas, and points in between, and even up toward Wichita Falls. You'll see these showers filling in today. And I've looked at some of the rain gauge observations, and they've been up to a half an inch so far in those locations. Here's a look at our future cast, and notice as we go through time, we'll have some more of those clouds out there. Of course, low gray clouds through the night tonight. That blanket's going to stay on us for several more days, and then just sporadic hit or miss light showers. Don't pay close attention to exactly where the future cast is developing these showers, just the mere fact that it is popping up and developing a few showers. The odds of this shower actually showing up on the west side of San Antonio, pretty slim. Usually it's somewhere else in our area. That's the nature of these computer models, and actually it's pretty good, meteorologically speaking, that we can even have that much of accuracy. Anyway, rainfall potential through Sunday, a little bit better. South of Highway 90 up to half an inch. North of Highway 90 we could see up to an inch, but the sweet spot farther north, Dallas to Waco, Houston, and eastward, 2 inches or more in those areas. So that's where most of the rain is going to be, of course, where they don't need it as badly as we do. 63 right now, dew point of 60. Keep in mind the dew point is a good indicator of just how cold it can get at night. We can't drop below 60. So we're not going to see much of a temperature change the rest of this evening. Dew points a bit on the muggy side. We're right on that edge. You can notice and feel a little bit of humidity in the air, but it's not oppressive. You'll notice it the next few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A bit of mugginess, then that weak cold front comes in, gets rid of the humidity, scours it out for Christmas Day and beyond. And that's going to lead to some cooler mornings as well next week. Let's talk about tomorrow, though. 61 at 7 a.m., cloudy 68 in the afternoon. Fog and drizzle early, then just 30%, so isolated showers popping up. Best chance is going to be Saturday night into early Sunday. The most numerous showers at that point. Look at Christmas Day. Sunny, low humidity, 64, and then back down into the upper 30s by the middle of next week for morning temperatures.
Looks pretty good. Thank you, Adam. Let's talk sports now. We know the Spurs are chilly in Chicago. We hope they're hot on the court, though, Larry.
We sure do, and they'll be hopefully hotter if Victor Wembanyama can play, because when they played the Spurs about 2 weeks ago, Wemby had a huge game. Unfortunately, the Spurs lost, so Pop and DeMar are going to reunite again tonight. And Texas State head football coach G.J. Kinney got himself a nice contract extension coming up. The Spurs started off their three-game road trip Tuesday night with a 132-119 loss in Milwaukee. Tonight, the guys will look to bounce back at the Chicago Bulls. At last check, Victor Wembanyama was listed as probable with right ankle soreness. Devin Vassell questionable with an illness, and Keldon Johnson is probable with low back tightness. The Spurs and Bulls will play for the second time this season. Chicago won the first contest 121-112 on December 8th. After a slow start to their season, the Bulls are 7-3 in their last 10 games. Here's Trey Jones after morning shoot-around when asked about facing the Bulls tonight.
Yeah, we saw them, a week or two ago. Obviously, they've been playing really well. Like you said, DeMar's been playing, really well. They've got some guys that, have turned it on recently, and that's, part of the reason of their success. But, we're continuing to just focus on ourselves, continuing to try to hone in on the things we want to do well, get out to good starts, continue to get better and better defensively, make sure that, we're trying to stay sharp on that end, and then work on our offensive end as well.
Spurs will host the Bulls tonight at 7. Highlights on the night beat. Texas State and head football coach G.J. Kinney agreed to a contract extension through the 2028 season, Texas State Athletics announced today. This after he led the Bobcats to their first ever bowl game during his first season at the helm. Kinney, who is 35 years old, led the Bobcats to their first win ever over a Power 5 program, finished tied for second in the Sun Belt West Division, and they will next play in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, which is awesome for the Bobcats football program.
Yeah, it really is. It's big for development of your program, and you're bringing these recruits out here, and you got bowl practice to have them, watch you and do all that. It's big for the program, and obviously the exposure you get, from the game itself is really good. So, and just saying, hey, we're bowl eligible, we're going to a bowl game, and so all that is big.
Texas State will face Rice in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl Tuesday, December 26th, 4:30 in the afternoon up in Dallas, and Texas State is favored by 5.5 points.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
All right, it wasn't the best of conditions this morning in Frisco, but still the Dallas Cowboys held practice outside in the rain and cold as they prepare to play at the Miami Dolphins Sunday afternoon at 3:25. The Cowboys are coming off a 31-10 loss at the Bills, in which they scored their only touchdown of the game with 2:48 left in the fourth quarter. Now, when it comes to playing complimentary football, Dak Prescott knows the offense has to do much better.
And just looking at the course of the season, I think for one, it gives our defense a great amount of confidence. When we score early, they take the field, they get to play with the lead, or whether it's a 0-0 type game because the game's tied, whatever it is. I just think that group plays hungry, obviously, and feeding off of our energy, and then vice versa. So, it's important understanding how explosive they are. All the speed that they've got on that side of the ball, it's important for us to make sure our offense is firing and we come out hot.
Offensive linemen Zach Martin and Tyron Smith haven't practiced this week due to injuries.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thanks, Larry.
You got it.
We are getting answers to your medical questions in Doc Talk coming up next.